Hey, everybody, welcome to the Acting Chops Network. I'm your host, China McCoy. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is the home of the industry insiders, in case you didn't know. And if anybody knows me, not only do I like to get into it, but I like to hit the clapper. This is always going to be my baby right here. And take one and action. And this is the business. When you get in the business, if you've never been in front of one of these, actually, if you've never been behind one of these, you don't know the feeling. This is where it is. The clapper. We'll talk about that one day too in one of my episodes. But today I want to address major situations. And I know y'all like the jacket. The jacket is cool, it's on that Captain America, you know what I'm saying? This is the business. But I want to address something in the industry that is that I find to be a real situation when it comes to people who come to California to become actors or actresses. Usually if you're trying to be a PA or a grip or wardrobe or something like that, it's a different dynamic. But for a fact, my experience being here in Hollywood has shown me that actors and actresses kind of have two sides to them. And it's not like a two sides, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde side. It's more like I'm entitled or I'm more entitled. So the entitled ones feel like they could just come here and they're just supposed to be put on the mainstream and in feature films and just massive ultimate commercials, and then it's just all about them, not realizing that there was somebody here a week before you, there was somebody here a month before you, a year before you, 2 years before you, 5 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 45 years. There's people who've been here 50 years before you. And so there's actually a long line that you have to wait in. Now, you may get some perks and you may get your turn every now and then, but respect the hierarchy, respect the line, respect the people that have been here a while and have an abundance, a plethora, a wealth of knowledge in the game. That's very important. So a lot of people just feel entitled. It's just, I'm supposed to just be put on because this is what I'm here for. You know what I'm saying? So, and you have two types of people, right? I was one of those type of people, but I wasn't entitled. My mentality wasn't entitled. So what I mean is you have the mentality of it's all about me. Where when I came here, I used to go to movie sets and be like, hey, can I be in your movie? And they'd be like, who are you? And I'm like, I'm China. I came here to be in a movie. That's why I traveled to California. And they look at me like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, I came here to do movies. So you guys are making a movie. Why can't I be in it? Yes, I was pretty rough. I was pretty raw. But my heart was pure. My knowledge of the industry was zilch, but my heart was in the right place. So when I spoke like that, they laughed and they would show me the right direction. You know what I mean? But I've experienced people come in like, what do you mean I'm not? What are you talking about? You know what I mean? And then you have those over entitled people, the ones that feel like they're already making $100 million movies and starring in Marvel pictures and doing Lord of the Ring type films and doing the Matrix kind of movies. And they just already walking around and I'm not talking like a manifestation entitlement. I'm talking about they really believe they're living, you know, the old term, fake it until you make it. But it's not in a good way. I've seen people fake it until they make it. And it's like, wow, all this time I didn't know that they were eating noodles. Because the way they were handling themselves in the business, you perceive, once again, perception, you perceive that they were doing things in the industry. But the over entitled ones weren't doing anything in the industry, but they were trying to live that limelight life. I'm walking all these red carpets, pictures of me, everyone look at me, yes, say my, you know what I mean? That just over entitlement of I'm supposed to be here and you guys are beneath me. And it's very disheartening. And it really sets a precedent of the kind of image that Hollywood gives off with the glitz and the glam. But the truth is, it's hard. It's noodle life. It's tuna fish life. And let me tell you, I made a pact with myself, right? And the pact that I made when I got here, I was like, I can eat lobster or I can eat tuna fish. Which one do I want? Because if I eat tuna fish, I'm gonna have to take the triathlon long road of rubble, rocks, mud, quicksand, and everything. And if I eat lobster, I'm gonna have to do things that's not ethical to get into places that only looks good to the people looking at it from the outside. And I'm just, I'm with the glitz and the glam. And that wasn't the road I wanted to take. I was like, you know what? I'm going to eat the noodles and I'm going to eat the tuna fish and I'm going to struggle and I'm going to scrape my pennies around and I'm going to do whatever I have to do. But at the end of the day, when I get to the end of the road in Hollywood, no one can say, yeah, China did this and he did that to get into these places. No, you'll never be able to say that about me because that was never my journey. That was never my road. And a lot of people take that road and it just never ends well. So, and my heart also goes out to a lot of people who come here and they go, well, I'm gonna give myself a year. Are you kidding me? You're going to give yourself a year to become successful in Hollywood. Let's think about that, right? Let's just say you came here and in the first year you booked 10 national commercials and 3 features. Fantastic. But then there's another year. There's next year. And then there's a year after that. And then there's a year after that. And then there's 4 or 5 years after that where you may not work ever again. So we used to have this thing back in the day. We used to call 6 months on, 6 months off. So 6 months would be full of glorious work, man. We'd be making movies. I don't care whether you was an extra, whether you was crafty, whether you was a scripty, whatever you were doing in the industry, work was fantastic. So 6 months, you was doing well. You were, booking all kinds of gigs. And then next thing you know, it was dry as the Sahara Desert. And what I mean is it was just no more work. Like things just dried up because everything has a season. So once you started to learn the way the Hollywood season works, then you would understand. So there would be a time people like, man, we're getting ready for pilot season. So everybody would be getting ready because they know the work's ready to come. So people would get ready and be ready. So by the time pilot season hit, they was ready, like ready. They was studying its acting classes. They was doing whatever they had to do, standing in front of the mirror, talking to whatever they needed to do for the TV and film seasons. They were doing it. And the off seasons, guess what you was doing? You was filing for unemployment. You know what I'm saying? Like unemployment was your best friend as an actor. So there was no Uber and no Lyfts and all these DoorDash and Uber Eats and all this other, driving apparatuses that we get to use nowadays. There was nothing. So if you were out of work as an actor, you were literally out of work. You were working in diners, you were working in grocery stores, you was working at Mickey D's, flipping burgers, you know what I'm saying? Dropping them hash browns into the fryer, whatever you had to do during those times, that's what you had to do, which is 6 months on, 6 months off. And it's a different world today. It's a different generation, but still a lot of people, they come here with that mentality like, if I don't make it in a certain time, then I'm leaving. Like that is no, you're in violation of the actor's code. You know what I'm saying? You can't come to Hollywood and be like, it's going to be my way or the highway. Really? Hollywood got something for that. But let me tell you, they got something for you. You come in with that mentality, they don't give a damn. They will toss you up out of here. Yeah, please. Man. When I got here, I did nothing but extra work and I was happy doing it. I was an extra in every damn thing, in music videos. I was an extra, you know what? I was so much, hold up, where is it at? Let me show you guys. I was so much an extra that I wrote a book, right? Mr. Hey, I'm just an extra. And I say, that's me, the unsung hero in Hollywood. So I wrote this book about my life as an extra. So if you want to get a copy, feel free, hit me up in the DMs. And yeah, this is a good book. You get to see like all my life, all the stuff I did as an extra in the book. So and I wrote about it because it was an amazing time. It was a great time. And I didn't give myself a time limit. I just came here and I did it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm here till the wheels fall off, the doors fall off, the windows break. I'm carrying the car like the Flintstones and running on my feet. Whatever I have to do, the fire for the industry within me never died. So when you come here, you have to come here with the fire. You have to come here with the desire. You have to come here with the urge and the want. You have to be bitten by the bug so hard that no matter what you were doing, right at that moment, you dropped everything in your life and came to California to do movies. Even if you came all the way over here just to go to film school, just to learn how to be a director, whatever you had to do, that's what you need to be in Hollywood. And I don't think, a lot of people understood that. So it's great because for us, it's like a sifting machine. You know what I mean? So people with that mentality, you start sifting them out and they easily just fall through the cracks because they're not in it for real. They're in it just for the glitz and the glam and like, yeah, I'm going to get all this money. I'm going to make all this money. So if you're in it for the money, that's your first mistake. If you're in it just for the fame, that's your second mistake. You know what I'm saying? You got to be in it because you want to be. It's like a need that it just grinds at you every day. Like, yeah, I love being in front of the camera. I love manifesting my creative aura to the world. I just love reading these lines and just being another character and being another person and portraying somebody and then just watching myself on screen and be like, wow, I did that. And people say, hey, man, that was a pretty good performance. Like, you should pursue this more often. And like, you know what I mean? Because you want to pursue it more often and you just love it. But if you come in here with the wrong fake it till you make it mentality or the I'm better than everyone else, look at me in my Ferrari or my McLaren, you know what I mean? Or I got this big mansion up on the hill or whatever that you think that you're doing to perceive like you're already a part of Hollywood. That is the wrong kind of faking it. That's something that is unnatural, and there's no payoff with that lifestyle because you didn't earn it, so you don't respect it. So the universe takes it like, well, you don't deserve this either, so things just won't work out in your favor. But if your heart's in the right place and you're really here coming and you're working at Trader Joe's while you going to film school or you're taking your little bit of money and you're investing in your first little film, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever you're doing to be successful in this town, because this town is brutal. LA, Los Angeles in itself is a rough city. There's so many people here. It's insane. It's so much traffic. It's ridiculous. But at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter because you're here for the industry and the industry is so small, so small. So imagine LA being so big and all this traffic and all these people, but Hollywood and the industry is this big. You know what I mean? It's like, what the hell? How does that even work out? But it feels like there's a lot in Hollywood because everything is transmitted on the media, so everything is hitting 1,000 and hundreds of thousands and then millions of TVs and worldwide. You know what I'm saying? So it just feels like LA is bigger than what it is. So pretty soon, now LA is packed like a sardine can because Hollywood made it seem like there's just so much room for everybody to come here and make it. And they can, but it's just difficult because everything start getting clogged up, and then they got to make bigger freeways and bigger one-way streets and bigger cul-de-sacs and bigger everything. And, we're running out of land and resources because everybody's coming here for the industry. So, yeah, man, that's just my little, that's my take on it. That's how I feel. That's from things I've seen in my experience in Hollywood. You may have your own experience and your own stories and your own journey. But if this is something you really want to do, pursue your passion passionately. Respect the game. Even if it doesn't respect you, respect the game, because there's levels to this, you know what I mean? And there's a process to this. And once you learn the levels in the process, then you can jump through the loopholes and you can create certain loopholes that work in your favor and to get you around a lot of things. But learn everything first. Some of us went to film school. Some of us didn't. Some of us went to acting classes. Some of us didn't. And we're making it, you know, we're still making movies, because at the end of the day, it was about our heart. It was about our soul. It was about the power of our spirit. It was about the fire that's in us. It's about the want, the need, you know, like I love this. Like I don't care if I'm getting paid or if I'm not getting paid or if I'm making big money or just a little bit of money. I just want to be in front of the camera, or I just want to direct, or I just want to write script after script after script after script, whatever it is. I just came here because I want to work for Warner Brothers or Paramount or Netflix or Sony or whoever you want to work for in the game. As long as you have that passion and that will, you can do it. You can succeed. So just remember, don't come here with the mentality of everything's about you, because it's not. Don't come here with the mentality that you're better than everybody, because you're not. You know, Hollywood is full of talented people and non-talented people who still work. And a lot of non-talented people work almost even more than talented people, because the non-talented people at least are cordial and they're respectful and they're fun to work with. So people like that tend to work more. I remember when I was early in the game in Hollywood, I remember somebody asked me one day, like, I don't understand how Keanu Reeves keeps working. And I was like, why are you asking me? I don't know, because I really didn't know at the time. This was before I even decided to even become an actor in Hollywood. And then once I got to Hollywood, and then once I actually worked with Keanu Reeves, and then once I watched him throughout his career and just being around him for so many years, I was like, Keanu's a nice dude. Like, he's a very giving person. He's fun to be around. He's a perfectionist. And people are like, well, he can't act. I say, well, I think he can act, but everybody has their own opinion. But even if he couldn't act, he's just a nice freaking guy. He's just a nice person to be around. He's like somebody you want on your set. He's pleasant to work with. You know what I mean? And I've worked with actors on higher levels that are not nice people. And I don't care who they are. I'd never work with them ever again. But somebody like Keanu Reeves, I would work with. He just makes life on set just grand. He's like a big kid, you know what I'm saying? And so that's how you want to be. You know, even if you think you may not have the talent or whatever you feel, just be genuine. And I think that's it. Keanu Reeves is very genuine. So if you just be an overall genuine person, things will work out for you. You will work a lot because people just like you. They be like, hey, he's a good dude. You know, he works hard, he gets a job done. Or she works hard, she gets a job done, and they're nice. So anyway, thanks for joining me on this episode. Just stay focused, stay positive, and be ready for the next episode. I don't know what I want to talk about on the next episode, but it's going to be some raw, hardcore, cool stuff like I always bring. And don't forget, get your clapper, whatever you got. Make sure everybody has you should just have like a mini clapper on your keychain. Remind me to get one. I think everybody in life should have a clapper. You know what I mean? Clap, clap. But anyway, find us on YouTube at the Acting Chops Network. I just got on Spotify at the Acting Chops Podcast, so I'm excited about that. I'm building, baby. I'm building. So once again, thank you for joining us. Find us on IG too at the Acting Chops Podcast on IG. Help us reach. And since it's a new, since YouTube is very new, help us get to the first 100 subscribers. You know, we need that, because if you like what I'm doing, you'll subscribe. And if you subscribe, that means you like what I did. All right. So see y'all in the next episode. Peace.